Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We begin with breaking news. Suspicious device found in bank parking lot in Laconia. Bomb squad called to investigate, police say. Laconia police are investigating a suspicious device that was found in the parking lot of a Bank of New Hampshire on Pleasant Street. Police said Wednesday they were awaiting for the state bomb squad to arrive. They said they weren't sure whether the device was a legitimate threat, but explosive devices have been found in the community in recent weeks. Police said a pipe bomb was discovered September 30th by residents at Bartlett Beach, and a chemical bottle bomb was found September 16th in the parking lot of the Belknap County Courthouse. Investigators said they aren't sure if the devices were left by the same person. This is breaking news story. It will be updated as more information comes into our newsroom. And now let's get to some other news that we have this evening on the Riley King Newscast. Jail officials launch investigation after attorney injured during meeting with client. Dale Holloway accused of assaulting public defender. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Ray Brewer.
This is the nimble Chevy Trax, the versatile Chevy Equinox, the stylish all-new Chevy Blazer, and the roomy Chevy Traverse with seating for up to 8. The Chevy family of SUVs. No matter what you're looking for in an SUV, Chevy's got you covered.
Current qualified competitive lessees can lease this Equinox for around $199 a month, or current GM owners get over $6,000 below MSRP when you purchase.
Wednesday morning, the Hillsborough County Commissioners got a briefing on the alleged assault at the county jail. Prosecutors say Dale Holloway, who's also accused of opening fire inside a Pelham church, was meeting with his public defender Monday morning.
It was during this visit that inmate Holloway is suspected of assaulting his attorney. His attorney was transported to the hospital via ambulance and did sustain facial and head injuries.
The injuries were severe enough that public defender Michael Davidow was eventually admitted to the ICU. At his arraignment Tuesday for the assault charge, Holloway denied he was responsible. He remains in jail after the judge found him a danger to society. But as for the investigation into how this could have happened,
and I just hope the room respects the fact that this is an ongoing investigation right now. So I really, I'm not at liberty to discuss anything further beyond that.
And it looks like the jail won't be making any changes in procedure until the investigation is finished.
I hope it goes without saying that public and staff safety is paramount. And if any adjustments have to be made on our end, we would certainly make those adjustments after the investigation is concluded.
One procedure that has changed is that for any future meetings with his attorneys, Holloway will be handcuffed to a table. Reporting live in Goffstown, Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Yang says universal basic income would pay for itself by stimulating economy, raising living standards. Democratic presidential candidate entrepreneur speaks at Politics and Eggs event held at New Hampshire Institute of Politics. And if you want to watch that video, we will share a link with you on the Riley King Network Facebook page. Zelensky announces candidacy for governor, calls for border-based discussion on school funding. Democratic Executive Counselor, former Claremont lawsuit lead attorney, cites city's quiet crisis on education in New Hampshire. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
At Beltates, customers will find everything they need for a building project. The brand names you trust to perform. And with a fleet of over 50 delivery vehicles, we deliver when and where our customers need them. Beltates Building Products. 9 locations throughout New Hampshire and Massachusetts.
Breaking Commitment 2020 news this morning. News 9 has learned that Democratic Executive Counselor Andrew Volinsky is announcing his candidacy for governor. The Concord attorney led the legal team that won the Claremont school funding lawsuit in the 1990s. He says that more than 20 years later, the issue continues to be a quiet crisis in the Granite State. In a video announcing his candidacy, Volinsky says he wants to fully fund schools, create jobs, and address the environment. But he told WMUR he refuses to pledge to veto a broad-based income or sales tax if elected, but he wouldn't propose one either.
We're interested in a new kind of leadership that engages the citizens of New Hampshire in honest conversation about what we need to do to help our state continue to prosper.
Volinsky joined Senate Majority Leader Dan Feltus in a Democratic primary contest to take on Republican Governor Chris Sununu, who is running for a third term. For more on Volinsky's exclusive interview with WMUR political reporter John DeStaso, visit the politics section of our website and mobile app.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. With optimism, message, Coulombalcha launches second TV ad in New Hampshire, Iowa. Americans are tired of having a whinier in the White House, Democratic presidential candidate says in ad. Democratic presidential candidate Amy Coulombalcha's campaign this week will launch its second television ad of the campaign, presenting an optimistic message instead of a whinier in the White House. And now let's take a look at that U.S. stock market and see how the U.S. stock market closed for this Wednesday evening. And here's a look at that U.S. stock market for all of you for this Wednesday evening. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the green and went up. Your Nasdaq closed in the green and went up. S&P 500 closed in the green and went up. Gold closed in the green and went up. Oil closed in the green and went up. US 10-year closed in the green and went up. Euro/USD closed in the green and went up. And VIX closed in the red and went down. Stocks rise despite weak earnings from Caterpillar and Boeing, bringing S&P 500 closer to record. Stocks rose slightly on Wednesday as investors designated earnings reports from Caterpillar and Boeing. Trump faces backlash over lynching tweet. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Impeachment inquiry has President Trump firing back, and that is sparking new outrage this morning. The president comparing the inquiry against him to a racist and painful chapter in American history, tweeting, "Take a look. All Republicans must remember what they are witnessing here, a lynching." Now, some of his Republican allies quick to denounce the language, but others defended it. Take a listen.
This is a lynching in every sense. This is un-American. I think lynching is being seen as somebody taking the law in their own hands and out to get somebody for no good reason.
Okay, so let's bring in Terry Moran there at the White House. Terry, this was yet another remarkable moment in this presidency.
It was. The president uses a lot of incendiary language to express his fury at this impeachment inquiry. But for millions of Americans, this crossed a line. The history of lynching in America is a history of pain and terror and racist tyranny. Thousands of black Americans were murdered this way. So for the president to compare a congressional investigation to a lynching was really a rhetorical firebomb, one he deliberately detonated for political purposes. And even for some of his Republican allies, it was too much. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell of Kentucky said given the history of our country, he would not have used the term lynching. The president's defenders were quick to point out that Democrats, including Joe Biden, used the term to describe the impeachment of Bill Clinton. Biden apologized, said it was the wrong word, and he was sorry to do it. And his defenders said that unlike the president, he and other Democrats don't have the same history on these issues.
Terry, one more headline before we let you go this morning. That anonymous senior official who penned the op-ed claiming to be part of the resistance inside the administration now has a book coming out.
That's right, Cecilia. It's the book that has Washington buzzing today, coming out next month. The title, A Warning, and the author just a senior Trump administration official, the same official, as you pointed out, who wrote that article in the New York Times, which painted the devastating portrait of President Trump, calling him erratic, saying he made ill-informed and reckless decisions. This is exactly the kind of thing that just infuriates President Trump, showing that he does not have the loyalty of the people around him. Cecilia?
Terry Moran, thank you very much.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night and bye, everyone.